The Boston Bruins just revealed their new Centennial game jerseys. These jerseys will only be worn once against the Montreal Canadiens on December 1st. That date is important, of course, because it takes place 100 years to the day after they played their first NHL game. That was against the Montreal Maroons. Now, I think in my last video, I said they played the Montreal Canadiens way back in the day. I guess I was wrong on that. Same city, but just different team, of course. But yes, even though the Boston Bruins did celebrate their 100th anniversary season last year, they technically did not play their first game until December 1st, 1924, which is why we're getting this celebration game, as well as these new jerseys. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, we're just getting new jerseys here because it's a cash grab. That's all it is. And it's like, yeah, man, that's what jerseys are, right? The jerseys are made to make money. And speaking of money, we will get to the price point in a second because I do want to talk about that. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself though. We haven't even looked at the jersey yet. So before we do so, if you're new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. All right, let's take a look. All right, so our first picture here is just a full look of Brad Marchand in the uniform. And overall, it does look pretty good, right? So, you know, it is a throwback to their 80s look. Now, it's not quite the exact same jersey, but it's relatively similar. It's kind of a new look on that jersey, which is pretty good. I like the fact that, you know, they didn't just do a direct throwback. That is nice. But as a full uniform setup, I actually do like it quite a bit. I know some people were kind of a little bit disappointed that they did not go with the full yellow socks, and I understand that a little bit, but I do think that this is a good compromise where you do have the black top half of the socks that kind of goes into the pants, and then the bottom half of the socks mimicking the striping on the arms, so you still get a decent amount of yellow in there. I think honestly that looks really good. So overall, the uniform looks pretty nice. We can go ahead and take a closer look at the jersey here, getting pretty close to Marchand there. So with the logo, it is a little bit of a different logo than they currently have on their home and aways. You know, it's a little bit more like their Centennial logo. So this one right here, although I guess it's a little bit closer to their home jersey, it's basically this logo right here, but instead of the gold, it has been replaced with just yellow. So even though I did like the gold accents on the Centennial season jerseys, I'm fine with it not continuing on to the Centennial game jersey. Another thing that this jersey has that is somewhat similar to the Centennial season jerseys is, of course, the patch itself. So that is now featured on the chest instead of it being on the shoulder. But, you know, the actual patch is relatively similar. It does have a little bit of differences. First of all, it's kind of just a color swap. Instead of it being a black background, it is a yellow. And then it does also have the December 1st date underneath the bear, where this one does not. So it's kind of just a little bit of an addition on this patch here, and I think it looks good. Moving on to our next picture here, we can see a little bit more of that sleeve striping, and I think that is actually really nice. I do like the fact that the yellow goes all the way down. It separates it from a lot of Bruins jerseys, so I do like that aspect. And of course, with this picture here as well, we can see that the sponsor patch, the Rapid 7 patch, has moved onto the shoulder instead of it being in its usual place on the chest where that was taken over by the patch. I like that, honestly. I do prefer the sponsor patches on the shoulders instead of on the front of the jersey. I think the front of the jersey is a little bit more sacred, I guess. So I do much prefer the sponsor patches if they have to be there, which they kind of have to be at this point. You know, it's just a thing that we have to get used to. If they have to be there, I much prefer them on the shoulder than I do on the actual front of the jersey. Let's move on to a couple of more pictures here, and I guess I can say this here. I'm really happy with how many pictures the Boston Bruins provided for this jersey because, yeah, they have a ton out right now. You can really take a look at a lot of details on this jersey, and usually that does not happen when a team releases a jersey. Most of the time, they release a really quick edited video that is in dark lighting, and you don't really see a ton of the jersey until like the last second where it's like one shot, and it doesn't really look that great. And then maybe they'll release a few pictures of the on-ice jersey with the players wearing it, and then they have the stock photos. But, you know, most of the time, I feel like you don't really get a good look at the jersey. With the Boston Bruins here, they did release a video. They do have the stock photos, but they also released, you know, some good on-ice photos with Marchand, and then they released these photos here as well to really take a look at this jersey. So very happy with what the Boston Bruins provided us. I'm very excited about that. I would love if more teams continued to do that because, yeah, these are great photos. Anyways, this photo here, just the jersey laying down flat, it does look really nice. I do like this jersey quite a bit. I think it looks really good. I like the stripes on the arms, like I said. I like the stripes at the bottom as well. You know, just a little bit of yellow in the collar. There's not too much. And I don't really feel like the top half of the jersey is all that bland. Most of the time, I do kind of like some shoulder yoke, but honestly, I think it looks fine with this jersey. Our next photo here is just a close-up image of the logo. Of course, there are laces on this jersey as well, which I don't think the jerseys back in the day had laces. I'm fairly certain they didn't, like the 70s and 80s jerseys that this one is throwing back to, but I think the laces look good. I don't mind them. Our next picture is of the back of the jersey. We can see the customization. So just the yellow as the main color of the numbers with that white outline, and then just the yellow name. I think that is fine. I think that looks good. Nothing too crazy, but it does look nice. And then we just have a quick stock photo here where it shows the hanger effect. So it has game 1, and then the Boston Bruins won 2-1 against the Montreal Maroons. Didn't know the score, so that's kind of cool that it has it inside the back of the collar. That is nice. And with this picture, you can see they have a hem effect, I guess, also, whatever you want to call it. Not really quite too sure, but it says tradition, grit, passion, and heart, which honestly, I kind of think is a little lame, but I also cheer for the Leafs, and they have honor, pride, courage in the back of their collar in the hanger effect, and I don't really think that is all too great either, so, I mean, I guess I can't really throw too many stones here, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. You're not going to be able to see it like 99% of the time anyway, so it's not like it really matters. And an interesting thing as well is it does seem like this is a thing that Fanatics wants to start doing. You know, we haven't seen too many of their new designs, like actual new jerseys from Fanatics, but on the Ducks jerseys, as well as these ones right here, they do have that inside of the hem design, which is, you know, something like the hanger effect that Adidas did. It wasn't a thing when they started, but they kind of slowly started to implement it more and more, and it started to be on quite a number of jerseys. So maybe that's something Fanatics wants to do as well. They want to start putting it on more and more jerseys, and if that's the case, I'm totally down with it, because like I said, it really, in the end, does not matter. You're not going to see it basically all of the time unless you have the jersey hanging up, and if you have the jersey hanging up, it's nice they kind of have a couple of more just neat little things to have on the jersey, neat little things to look at on the jersey. And to add on to that, they do have a little bit of a tag, I guess you can call it, on the left side of tradition, so it would be on the back right of your jersey, and it has just a little bit of gold sparkle to it, says 100, so that looks kind of cool. Once again, not really a huge thing, but I think it just looks nice. But yeah, that's basically all of the details for this jersey here. Like I said, overall, I do really like it a lot. I think it is a very nice looking Bruins jersey. However, it does feel very similar to a lot of other Bruins jerseys, even though it is different. Like I already talked about the fact that it is not the same as any other Bruins jersey that we've seen. It is very similar to them, but it is a little bit different, and I usually like that, and I think specifically with it being a Centennial game jersey, they made the right move in making it a little bit different, but still having the feel of those older jerseys. So I think it was the right move, but in the end, it does still feel kind of meh. Like, I'm a little bit torn because just visually, I think it looks nice, but I do feel like this is a jersey that is going to be forgotten. With the Centennial season jerseys, I don't think those will be forgotten. I think they kind of stood out quite a bit, but this one here, especially because of the fact that it's only going to be worn for one game, it does feel like a jersey that, you know, maybe to jersey collectors, it is going to be something that they want because it's only worn for one game, so it's very, very special, but I think to a lot of fans, it's going to be easily forgotten. Unless they decided to bring this back as a third jersey, or even if they rebranded and used this as a home jersey, I would actually really like that a lot if they decided to go with something new for the Boston Bruins. You know, they've had their current jerseys for a while now, like not crazy long time, not an original 6 long time, but they've had them long enough that, at least in my opinion, I wouldn't mind if they switched it up a little bit, and if they used that as a home jersey and then just kind of use that same template with an away jersey, I think it would look really, really nice. So yeah, if it stays as a one-time jersey, I do think it will be forgotten, probably by a lot of people, but also, I still think it looks nice. If that makes sense, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn on this jersey, I'm sure you guys can tell. If I were to actually give it a number rating, I think I would go a 7.5 out of 10. I really do like the look of it, but it just does feel so similar to a lot of other Bruins jerseys. Now, there is one more thing that I want to talk about before I end this video here, and that is the price of these jerseys. A lot of people were freaking out about it, and I understand, because if you went to the store page and try and pre-order these jerseys, which are currently only available on the Boston Bruins team store, you would see that they're available for $600 American. So of course, a lot of people were like, what the hell? Like, how are they $600? I can't believe this. Now, of course, these $600 jerseys are the Fanatic Authentic Pro jerseys, so they did release this graphic right here, I guess probably trying to make sure that people realize that there is a difference in between the Authentic Pro and the Premium, but they don't have the Premium up for sale right now. They only have the Authentic Pro. I don't know why. I think that's kind of a dumb move on the Boston Bruins part, because I think a lot of people are still kind of crazy about Fanatics right now. They haven't realized exactly what the difference is between the Authentic Pro and the premium jerseys. I think a lot of casual fans don't really get it still, which is probably why they have this graphic here, and I think Fanatics probably made them make this graphic. I think it was maybe Fanatics going like, no, you have to do this. If you're only going to have the Authentic Pros out at the moment, you have to at least have a graphic out. So they are the Authentic Pros, the on-ice jerseys, exactly what the players wear. That is what they're selling, and they are customized as well. But blank jerseys of the Authentic Pros are selling for $425. So it's basically a $175 difference for customization. It's a lot. It really, really is. In saying that, team stores usually do have a little bit of a price hike with their jerseys. A lot of the time, they'll add like an extra, I don't know, like maybe 10 or 20%, something like that. I mean, with the Anaheim Ducks, if you try and pre-order their Authentic Pro jersey, it is up for $500. So there is an extra $75 that the team store is just adding onto those jerseys for whatever reason. They just decide to do so. So if you want to take that as an example, I guess it's technically an extra $100 for customization, which isn't as bad. It still is a decent amount. Like, I find most of the time customization is like 85 US, somewhere around there. So it's still a little bit more, but once again, it's the team store, so they kind of price hike it. It is still a lot of money either way. $600 for a jersey is of course a ton, even if it is to the on-ice jersey. But in saying that, apparently from what I've read, someone called them and it's not really to the on-ice customization. The customization is not quite the same as what the players wear, and that is where I have an issue. Because, you know, if you're paying $600 for a jersey that is customized, it better be to the on-ice customization. So apparently, you know, if that is true, the fact that it's not to the on-ice customization is ridiculous. That is so stupid, especially adding on to the fact that they're not offering any blank jerseys, so you can't just buy a blank jersey and then get it sent off to get it properly customized. Now, I don't know if they're going to change that and they're going to start offering that, you know, maybe a little bit later on. Like I said, they don't even have the premium version out right now, so maybe when they release the premium version, they'll start offering blank Authentic Pros as well. Not quite too sure. I hope that is the case, but honestly, I have no idea. That is where it's ridiculous to me. Like the $600 price, you can maybe slightly justify it a little bit. Like I said, there's a price increase because it is the team store, it is customized, it's the Authentic Pro. So like I can sort of half get there, but my issue is the fact that it's not to the on-ice customization from, like I said, once again, that's what I've heard, that, you know, someone had called the team store itself, and that is what they told them, that they're just done to the pro shop customization and not the on-ice customization. There is a little bit of a difference. I don't know how many people would really notice, but the fact that, you know, they think that they can get away with it, that's where it is really frustrating to me, that they are only offering that option and there's no other option at the moment. That is where that kind of frustration comes through, is just that aspect of it. If they had the premium versions up right now and they had the blank Authentic Pros, I would be a lot more, maybe not okay with it, but I would be, you know, kind of more understanding and being like, whatever, you can just avoid the $600 ones and they can just not sell, and that's fine. But I know a lot of people are going to want the jersey and they're going to want to get it as soon as possible, so they're kind of forced into that option, which I think is probably their plan, right? I think that is why they're doing it, and why they are waiting on selling those other versions, is because they know people want the jersey, they want it for the game itself, and they might be worried that if they wait a little bit longer, either the Authentic Pros that are being sold for $600 right now are going to sell out, or if they're not going to get the premium version in time. So they're probably banking on that a little bit, and I think that's kind of gross, honestly. But yeah, anyways, I guess one thing that's cool about it though is that if you do buy the $600 jerseys, you get a box, so it looks like that. That's cool. And by the way, they are only making 1,924 of these, because of course their first season was 1924, so you know, they're kind of going off that a little bit. So yeah, I guess that is also what you're paying for, is you're paying for a box and the fact that it is a limited jersey. I don't know. It's, yeah, I think I have a different reason why I'm upset than most people about the $600 price point. I think a lot of people are upset because it is $600 and that's a lot for a jersey. For myself, it's more of the price hike of the team store, plus the non-on-ice customization, plus the fact that they're not offering any other options, at least at the moment. Anyways, though, enough ranting. Overall, I do like the jersey itself. I think it is a nice looking jersey. Just the price is, it's a little bit questionable, at least for the moment. I do think that'll get resolved in the future, but just the way that they release these jerseys in terms of the pricing, yeah, it's kind of a little bit scummy. But those are my thoughts. I would love to hear your guys' in the comments down below, either on the jersey or the price or both. I would love to hear it. So yeah, that is going to do it for me. If you guys like the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.